Welcome to today's webinar, Exploring Alberta's Majestic Rockies, Vibrant Cities, and Hidden Gems. I'm Paloma Villaverde de Rico, Editor-in-Chief of Recommend Magazine and moderator of this webinar. The webinar will focus on Alberta with its breathtaking mountain landscapes, rolling foothills, prairies, vibrant cities, and surreal landscapes that continue to uncover our Jurassic past. You'll learn why Alberta continues to deliver unforgettable experiences to travelers from around the world. You'll discover the hidden gems, new regions, and new experiences that will surprise and excite your clients. You'll learn how to connect Alberta itineraries to cruise and rail journeys, and you'll learn what is needed for planning the perfect, unforgettable Alberta vacation for your clients. Taking you through all that Alberta has to offer is Ryan Elliott, Manager, Business Development for Travel Alberta. Born and raised in Ontario, Canada, it only took one winter ski season in Alberta 20 years ago to keep Ryan in the West. With over 25 years of experience in both the private and public sides of the tourism sector, Ryan has worked with tour operators and travel agents around the globe. He loves the outdoors and spends the summer camping, hiking, and mountain biking, and in the winter, fat biking, downhill, and cross-country skiing. Ryan is based in the heart of the Rockies in the beautiful town of Canmore, Alberta, with his wife, Jess, 2-year-old son, Theo, and Monty, the dog. So before we begin, a few housekeeping items. During the presentation, feel free to enter your questions in the question box. We'll gather them together and hold a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And don't worry if you miss something, this webinar is being recorded and you will receive a link via email to access the recording at your leisure. The email will also include 5 itineraries that will help you plan your client's vacation, as well as a link to the presentation. And then you can download the 5 itineraries directly from the handouts as well. So take it away, Ryan.
That's great. Well, thanks, Paloma, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. Before I get started, just in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and honor the treaty territories of the people of Treaty 7, region of Southern Alberta and Calgary, and home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. Now, as we get going, I'm going to turn my camera off because I've got some stunning pictures for you to look at. I don't want to take away from that. So, here we go. Yeah, so Alberta really is the perfect spot for your client's next holiday. Today, we're going to rediscover Alberta, uncover some hidden gems, highlight some new Indigenous experiences. And before we get things started, I just wanted to share with you a little video. So here we go. Excellent. So before we set out on our tour of the province, I want to share with you a couple of quick Alberta facts. So first and foremost, Alberta has the lowest sales tax in Canada. This means that Alberta really is the best place for shopping. So for guests who are doing both an Alberta and BC itinerary, be sure to have them do all their shopping right here in this province. We also say here, it's always sunny in Alberta, and that's because we get just over 300 days of sunshine each and every year. So whether your guests are traveling in the summer, fall, spring, or winter, be sure that they pack some sunscreen. We're also probably, as you know, known for Alberta beef, but we're also getting really well known for our incredible barley and wheat. So a trip to one of our brewery districts is an absolute must for your guests in Alberta. We have more local breweries popping up than you can count, and distilleries too. So let's get started on the tour of the province. Today we're going to start in Alberta's capital city, which is Edmonton. So Edmonton is located in the center of Alberta, is home to the Edmonton International Airport with direct air access to all major Canadian and US cities, as well as international destinations. Edmonton's River Valley, which is seen in this photo, is North America's largest urban parkland. It's actually 22 times larger than the size of Central Park. This natural setting provides an oasis from big city life with opportunities to rent bikes, paddleboards, canoes, or even join a Segway experience. Now, Edmonton has undergone a major revitalization to their downtown core called the Ice District, which is centered around the new Rogers Place Arena, which is home to the Edmonton Oilers. This revitalization has truly changed the downtown core with a brand new vibrancy, vast array of unique bars, and lots of new restaurants. Added to this as well is the new JW Marriott, which opened in August of 2019. This is a great new hotel for your guests to stay at when overnighting in the city. Now, in terms of things to do, Fort Edmonton Park is an immersive facility that allows guests to step back in time and experience 4 distinct eras in Edmonton's past. So the days of the fur trade, the pioneer years of 1885, 1905, and 1920. Fort Edmonton Park is getting ready to welcome guests back after a $165 million facilities enhancement done during COVID. And a big part of this investment was the development of the new Indigenous Peoples Experience. This new facility recently won the prestigious International Themed Entertainment Association Award and immerses guests in First Nations and Métis histories and culture. The facility consists of Indigenous narrators, interactive and hands-on displays, and engaging audio-visual components that offer a diverse Indigenous perspective for your guests. Some new product for us as well is Métis Crossing. This is located an hour-and-a-half northeast of Edmonton and celebrates the story of the Métis Nation of Alberta through traditional crafts, tours, and food experiences. Guests can paddle on a Voyager canoe, they can enjoy tours of the museum and historical village, or watch traditional Métis music and dance on their outdoor stage. A new 40-room boutique hotel has just opened and is an amazing place for a quiet and very immersive Indigenous getaway. Now, Métis Crossing is also home to a herd of very rare white bison and white elk, which can be seen on a private Hopes and Dreams tour due to the cultural significance they had to the Métis people. I was out here just a few weeks ago and staring at these guys face to face, especially the white bison, is truly, truly incredible. So from Edmonton, we're going to head west towards Jasper. So it's about a 4-hour drive, Edmonton to Jasper. And Jasper National Park is the largest of the Canadian national park systems and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Jasper is known for big, wide open spaces and a place to escape, unwind, and relax. Jasper is also a great opportunity to see wildlife from a safe distance, either on a guided wildlife tour and especially in the spring or fall seasons. The Jasper SkyTram is a must to get a bird's eye view of Jasper from the highest guided aerial tramway in Canada. Once you reach the top, you'll enjoy these panoramic views with 6 mountain ranges, turquoise lakes, and the glacier-fed rivers. And Jasper is also the world's 2nd largest dark sky preserve. So whether your guests are strolling the grounds at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge or learning about the night sky at the Jasper Planetarium, be sure to tell your guests not to go to bed too early, as the dark skies are absolutely incredible. And if they are lucky, they may even get to see some aurora. But after a long night of stargazing, visiting the Malane Valley is an absolute must. The Malane boat cruise is the best way to get out on the water and enjoy a tour of one of the world's most photographed locations, Spirit Island, which is only accessible by boat. Malane Canyon's gentle walk also features 6 bridges, taking you above the canyon to see spectacular waterfalls. There are fossils on site, ancient snails, sea lilies, and shells that can also be found along the way. For an Indigenous experience, Warrior Women is a dynamic mother-daughter duo who perform drumming, fireside chats, foraging, and perform haunting melodies and share stories that will keep your guests thoroughly entertained. If your guests are looking to be moved by the heartbeat of Mother Earth, hear the stories of the land, and listen to the legends of the Cree people that will stay with them forever, Warrior Women is an absolute must-do experience for them while they're in Jasper. Now, moving out of Jasper, we're going to start heading south on the Icefields Parkway, which is considered to be one of the most scenic, drives on the planet, with the highest peaks in the Canadian Rockies, as well as glaciers, waterfalls, and lots of wildlife. And although this is a 3-hour drive between Jasper and Lake Louise, I always recommend to plan for an entire day, as your guests will want to stop at scenic lookouts, lakes, waterfalls, and of course have time for those wildlife encounters. Now, halfway between Jasper and Lake Louise sits the Columbia Icefields. The Columbia Ice Adventure is a must-do experience. Here, guests will travel on this massive ice explorer onto the Athabasca Glacier. Now, top tip, ensure your guests have a water bottle with them, as they can actually scoop down and scoop the water directly from the glacier as it's melting away. There's no fresher, tastier water on the planet than this meltwater directly from the glacier. From the Ice Explorer, then recommend to visit the Glacier Skywalk, which provides a self-guided interpretive tour leading to this jaw-dropping glass-floored lookout at the cliff's edge. This all can be bought and purchased combined together as one continuous experience. Now, coming down the Icefields Parkway, we now arrive into Banff National Park, home of the town of Banff and the hamlet of Lake Louise. The hamlet of Lake Louise is world famous for the Chateau Lake Louise, as well as its turquoise lakes, the Victoria Glacier, and soaring mountain backdrops. Lake Louise is a rare place that must be experienced to be believed, and these pictures truly do not do it justice. There are activities galore, casual walks along the lakeshore, canoeing, and even short hikes to tea houses. And next to Lake Louise is the awe-inspiring Moraine Lake, one of my most favorite places on the planet. Its waters are the most amazing color, a vivid shade of turquoise that changes in intensity throughout the summer as the glaciers melt. This is a very popular spot. Guests are encouraged to arrive early or later in the evening, and we also recommend to take one of the many shuttles that are available from Lake Louise or from Banff when visiting Moraine Lake. I also highly recommend while on Lake Louise that your guests do the Lake Louise Summer Gondola. So guests can either ride in a chairlift or a gondola cabin to the top of Lake Louise Ski Resort. There's some incredible stunning views back across the valley to the Victoria Glacier. As the Lake Louise is centered in a wildlife corridor, lots of wildlife can be seen from the sightseeing lift, including grizzly bears that are often seen grazing right underneath you. Now from Lake Louise, we're going to head to Banff, which is the distance between Banff and Lake Louise is 45 minutes. Now, Banff is surrounded in all directions by strikingly beautiful mountains. The lively streets of downtown are lined with top-class restaurants, bars, and shops, as well as a vibrant range of art galleries and museums. The Banff town site is small, which means getting around is super easy and accessible for everyone to explore and to enjoy. Bear Street, which is seen in this photo, runs parallel to Banff Ave and has just reopened after a major renovation, which makes for more pedestrian-friendly strolling. For this summer, Banff Avenue will also be closed to cars and buses, which is great for enjoying one of the many patios on offer under the magnificent views of Cascade Mountain in the background. There's so many things to do in Banff, but some of the must-do are the Banff Sightseeing Gondola on Sulphur Mountain. Here you can enjoy a 360-degree view, as well as a gentle hike along the boardwalk. I highly recommend telling your guests to dine at Sky Bistro. It's a great place for lunch or dinner with the best views in the valley. Lake Minnewanka Boat Cruise also allows guests to experience Lake Louise in heated, covered boats, which means you can do this experience in virtually any type of weather. There's really endless number of activities for your clients, from hiking to e-biking, canoeing, paddleboarding, but I did want to highlight that horseback riding in the Rockies truly is magical. With the tranquility of nature all around you, this is really a must-do activity for your clients while they're in the mountains. And another site to explore is the birthplace of the National Park System at the Cave and Basin National Historic Site. Here, guests can learn about the natural and cultural history of the area and walk into this accessible cave where Banff's first hot springs were discovered. For an eye-opening Indigenous experience, Mohican Trails is located in Banff. Here, guests will go on a walk in a mountain meadow or through the forest with Brenda Holder or her son. This immersive experience shows you their ability to point to and identify any plant, tree, or bush and tell you how it can be used to make something crucial to survival, a cider for a cold, a food source, or even a fire starter. This is a truly immersive and great experience to recommend for your guests. Now from Banff, we're going to head on to Calgary. So Calgary is the largest city and home to the Calgary International Airport. Again, direct air access from major US cities as well as international destinations. Calgary is set dramatically between prairies and mountain peaks and is rich with beautiful landscapes, skylines, and a dynamic array of experiences. From the vibrant downtown to character-filled neighborhoods, winding rivers, vast green spaces, Calgary is full of secrets, surprises, and stories, and is more than just the home of the Calgary Stampede. The Calgary Tower is an icon that defines the Calgary skyline, where you'll see panoramic views of the city and the Canadian Rocky Mountains to the west. And Heritage Park is Canada's largest living history museum, where your guests will be immersed in the setting of early Western pioneers who will meet fur traders, Indigenous people, railway workers, and prairie town folks, while exploring exhibits on over 127 scenic acres of parkland right in the city. Now, located in the trendy neighborhood of East Village, Studio Bell is a brand new building and an architectural masterpiece. This features 5 floors of interactive displays, exhibits, and memorabilia, and celebrates the history of Canadian music and immerses guests in a one-of-a-kind musical and architectural experience. Now, Calgary, like the rest of the province, is full of amazing restaurants that use local ingredients such as honey, bison, Alberta beef, of course, and all used to create farm, fresh, and local meals. Now, for guests who are looking to include rail into their itineraries, there's lots of options as both Via Rail and the Rocky Mountaineer travel through Alberta with routes extending into BC, east across Canada, and further north. Now, Via Rail only has stops in Jasper and Edmonton, while the Rocky Mountaineer has trains that service both Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper. So because of this opens up endless opportunity options to combine the locations I just went through with arrival or departures from Calgary or Edmonton, and combining with the train itself. Now, as promised, I did want to highlight a few of Alberta's lesser known hidden gems, as we have just kind of run through the main highlights of Alberta. So here are a few of my favorite gems. First, between Banff and Calgary sits the lesser known area of Canmore and Kananaskis. Canmore is where I live and play in the mountains. So from a humble small mountain town beginning, Canmore is now the celebrated tourist destination that takes outdoor adventure lifestyle very seriously, with a youthful, entrepreneurial, creative energy that's compelling, inspiring, and welcoming. At the heart of Canmore is a vibrant downtown core, nestled between the glacier-fed waters of the Bow River, the picturesque walking trails of Policeman's Creek, and the grandeur of the Rocky Mountains. Main Street has incredible art galleries, stylish boutiques, and amazing patios for soaking up the dreamy mountain views. Its accessibility and connection with nature makes this area a local's favorite. And something unique to Canmore is many of the accommodation options are more condo-style properties than hotel-style properties. This is perfect for families or small groups looking for larger accommodation options, and also ones with larger kitchen amenities. Now, looking at other hidden gems, a perfect day trip from Calgary is the hour-and-a-half drive east to the Badlands of Drumheller and the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology. Here, clients will learn all about the amazing number of dinosaur fossil discoveries in this area, and can even go look for bones and fossils themselves in the surrounding canyons. Now, south of Drumheller and east of Calgary is Dinosaur Provincial Park. This is a truly unique and unexpected landscape in Alberta. Guests are always blown away by the unique landscapes of the Badlands. Here, there are still many active dinosaur digs taking place, and you can even take a behind-the-scenes tour to see actual dinosaur beds. It is the unequaled concentration of dinosaur fossils here that makes Dinosaur Provincial Park world famous, and many of the bones that are discovered here make their way to the Royal Tyrrell Museum. Now, lastly on our tour of Alberta is Waterton Lakes Provincial Park and the town site of Waterton. This sits in the southwest corner of Alberta and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, an International Peace Park, as well as a biosphere reserve. There are amazing hikes here for all abilities, stunning views, and I highly recommend the boat tour down the lake to learn about how Waterton became the world's first international peace park. In Waterton also sits the iconic Prince of Wales Hotel. This is a must stop for your guest afternoon tea. Here, your guests will take in the beautiful surroundings overlooking Waterton Lake while sipping hot tea and dining on scones and delicious sandwiches. Now, I know there's a whirlwind around the province, and I hope that helped to reinforce the knowledge you have about the province and introduce you to some new areas and activities to consider for your guests. Now, I know as travel is just resuming, I wanted to leave a little bit of extra time to answer questions, as I know we haven't had a chance to do trainings for Alberta for a number of years due to COVID. So I wanted to keep this opportunity open to answer as many questions as possible. So please feel free to ask any questions or put them in the chat.
Thank you, Ryan. That was an amazing presentation. It seems like you can be there a lifetime and still discover something new and different when you go exploring through the area. You must have some amazing spots that you go with your family on weekends. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's really beautiful, beautiful. It's a great job. So we have a few questions coming in. One of the first ones is, are there transfers from the airports to the Rockies?
Absolutely. So there's scheduled transfers. So from Edmonton out to Jasper, there are scheduled transfers generally with Sundog, and they run a few times during the day. So you do need to plan, especially with Edmonton, you do need to plan your transfers accordingly, or you can do an overnight in Edmonton if you've missed the last transfer out to Jasper. From Calgary, because between Calgary and Banff is only 90 minutes. Those run on a more frequent basis, and there's a couple of different providers that provide scheduled transfers. In both cases, also you can hire a private car if you want. Uber is available in Calgary and Edmonton, but they generally don't Uber out to the Rockies. But you can do taxi, or you can do a private transfer as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's easy enough to get around then, it seems. So what are some of the horseback adventures available?
Well, there's lots of different options available throughout, especially through the Rockies. And like I recommended, that's definitely a must-do experience. So for those that don't have a lot of time, there's 1, 2, and kind of half-day tours that will take you through these beautiful trails across rivers and streams, and just really get you out away from the hustle and bustle of Jasper. And there's also multi-day trips as well. So for those guests that are looking to really immerse themselves into the mountains, there's multi-day trips where you'll go on horseback to backcountry lodges, fully serviced backcountry lodges, and do days of riding back there, and then horseback back out as well. Those are generally 2 to 5 days, depending on the experience that your guests want to do. And in the follow-up, I can ensure we share some links to those experiences as well, if you'd like.
And those horseback adventures, who would you recommend, travel advisors recommend? Is it good for families? Is maybe the day one good for families? What do you think?
I would say that the day one is a little bit more for families, definitely more family friendly. For couples looking to get away, the backcountry experience is fantastic. I did a 3-day last 2 summers ago now, which is just fantastic. It's a day of riding, night at the lodge, another day of riding, another overnight, and then you backpack, or you take the horse back out, and just a really surreal way to get into the backcountry in the Rockies.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. That sounds beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, I can see families, couples, multi-generational families. That would be a beautiful experience now to be out in the outdoors, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And is it possible to see aurora in Alberta?
It is. So we're actually just in the midst of getting into a new aurora cycle. So one of the best places for it, obviously, is a little bit further north. So north of Edmonton, Métis Crossing is actually building a number of geodomes. So these are going to be glass-covered domes that are going to be facing north, fully serviced with a shower, washroom, beautiful bed, warm. They're going to be open year round, and they face the north, so you'll be able to see the dark skies as well as the aurora. We don't really have, until you get further north up in Alberta, we don't really have a guaranteed aurora sightings, but I can tell you this year we've had aurora quite a bit, and we see them, in through Edmonton, Jasper especially, and from time to time you'll also see them in through the Banff and Lake Louise area as well.
And you've had a lot of opportunity to see them?
Yep. Yeah, they're just, we'll see them out of our front door, but it's once you get out into the dark skies is where they really light up the sky. Especially up in Jasper, looking in the fall time is where there's more likely chances to see the aurora. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's the one thing with all my travels, I have yet to see them.
Yeah,
but fingers crossed, I'll see them soon enough. So when is the best time to visit Alberta?
Well, today we only just covered on really the summer and the fall. There's this kind of spring, summer, fall period, but Alberta really is a year-round destination. So there's the whole place changes when we get into winter. And I think I'm going to come back and do another webinar focused on the winter itself. But for those, the busiest time of the year for us, obviously, is the peak season is through summer. So if you can encourage guests, if they're looking to save a little bit and get a better chance of availability, especially as you go through the Rockies, is definitely through the spring and the fall shoulder season time. But really all year round is beautiful. The spring and the fall is the best time to see wildlife. And then the summer obviously is our busiest time through the Rockies. But when you get into Edmonton, Calgary, or looking up a little bit north of Edmonton in through Métis Crossing, the summer is a beautiful time to visit as well. Edmonton is considered the festival city, so there's festivals and events going on almost on a weekly basis up there as well.
And who do you recommend travel advisors send to Alberta? What's the best client? Who's the top client? What do you think? Is it luxury? Is it family, multi-gen, everyone?
Well, I hate to say everyone, but it is truly everyone. I mean, there's something for everyone, from the JW Marriotts and the Fairmonts properties, which are in Banff, Lake Louise, Jasper, Calgary, and Edmonton, right down to your budget-friendly properties as well. And then there's everything in between. We see a lot of multi-generational families traveling. We see a lot of big families traveling as well. And there is all those kind of different accommodation options, and there really is something to do for everyone. If you're looking at going for a walk or a hike, there's walks for those that just want to stay along the lake shore and have something nice and flat. For those who are looking for a half day or a full day, hiking experience, there's thousands of trails to pick from as well, and just lots of activities for kids, especially in the cities. With Heritage Park, Fort Edmonton, the Calgary Zoo, there's lots of different opportunities for all ages and all different styles of travel.
And you touched upon the hotels that are available. Are there a lot of boutique hotels? What's the hotel landscape in Alberta like? Right.
So in the cities, lots of big hotels, big renovations that have taken place on a number of hotels through COVID, and everything from kind of the big properties like the Fairmonts JW right down to smaller boutique hotels. In through the Rockies, same kind of thing. There's a lot of cabins, lodges, as well as your regular hotel style properties, and then some boutique hotels as well. So there really is kind of, depending on what your flavor is and what the clients are looking for, pretty sure you can find it in Alberta. And then to add to that as well, which I didn't even highlight on this webinar, is there's also ranch experiences too. So for those that want to come and stay on a working ranch and a kind of a B&B style property, there's a number of ranch experiences, especially in through southern Alberta as well.
And for those ranch experiences, what's the recommended, how many days should the traveler stay?
I think for those is, looking at 1 or 2 nights is great. It gives you a real good taste of the ranch experience. You get to see the, the cattle calls that happen and what happens on a typical working ranch in Alberta. But then, there's so much of Alberta to explore. So I also don't recommend staying in one place for too long. Most people that come through Alberta tend to move and change every few nights just to try and make their way through the province.
Yeah, I see a lot of the itineraries that they have access to is 10 days, 3 days, 5 days, depending obviously on how many days they have. And so you mentioned the domes to see Aurora. Do you know when those will be coming online?
So those are coming online in the fall this year. There's going to be 19 of them total. 10 of them will be available at the end of this year, and then the rest will be coming on for 2023.
Excellent. Wow. Are you going to run when they open up? I'm sure that would be a beautiful experience.
I'm gonna try and get a night when I can, because I think those are going to be extremely popular. Yeah, I took a look at the prototype a few weeks ago, and it looks amazing. Just really cool, really quaint and cozy inside, and really comfortable. And then when you lie back in the bed, it's just this full glass window, just staring off into the evening sky. Just absolutely stunning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. That's stunning. So everybody took road trips, when travel was not as popular as it is right now in the last couple of years. And so is it safe for everyone to drive in Alberta, since that's the thing that all families and couples want to do?
Absolutely. So we say in Alberta, like if you get lost driving, then you really shouldn't be on the road, because there's a very limited number of roads connecting Alberta to the places that I highlighted. It's really 1 or 2 roads and 2 ways to get there. So the the between Calgary, Banff, Canmore, Lake Louise is the Trans-Canada Highway. That's the highway that connects one end of Canada to the other. Twinned highway. Very easy travel. Same with going up towards Jasper on the Icefields Parkway, and then even from Jasper to Edmonton, and then even again the highways going south into Waterton or east out to Drumheller. All very safe, really easy to get around. That's the beauty of Alberta, very easy to get around. But then for those who don't want to drive, there's lots of transportation options as well. So that's kind of the beauty, is you really do have the option to either to rent a vehicle, or if you want to hop on a tour or just use one of the many transportation options available, it's very easy to get around the province that way.
Excellent. And one of the attendees of the webinar is asking, where exactly are the domes?
So the domes I'm referring to in Métis Crossing are at the Métis Crossing site. So it's about an hour and a half northeast of Edmonton. That's a brand new facility called Métis Crossing. They've just built a 40-room boutique hotel along the North Saskatchewan River up there, and the domes are going to be extended out to the side of the hotel, but they're going to be, the way they're designing it, they're going to be private. So there's a walkway out there. You still have access to the hotel for dining, but the domes themselves will be not on top of each other, if that makes sense. They're going to be, kind of within the trees around them, surrounding them. So you've got your privacy, and then you've got your views up to the sky.
And speaking of Métis Crossings, someone's asking, how would you tie that into an itinerary?
Yeah, so it's that's really looking at kind of a bit more of that northern itinerary. So it'd be looking at, doing a night in Edmonton. I would say going up a night or 2 up to Métis Crossing, coming back to Edmonton, and then likely heading out to Jasper, to the Rockies. And either you can continue that down with the route that we did today, or from there you can hop on the Via, take the Via out to Edmonton, or sorry, to Vancouver. Okay. Or once you get out to Jasper, obviously come back and fly back out from Edmonton. But it's more of that kind of northern Alberta tour for sure.
And are you seeing a lot of pent-up demand? What are advisors telling you in terms of client bookings? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so definitely lots of pent-up demand. I think because of the wide open spaces that we have here, and with COVID still kind of looming out there, people are looking for places that are safe. places where they can, you know, get away from big crowds. And really that's what Alberta has on offer. And whether that's, you know, in the cities, there's so much parkland within the cities that you can actually get away from people. And then obviously once you get into the Rockies themselves, just lots of big wide open space. We're definitely seeing that pent up demand of people booking new and also rebooking from the holidays they didn't get to do in 2020. So it's definitely, we're seeing some high compression, especially through the Rockies in the summertime. But again, the shoulder and the shoulder seasons are definitely ideal to try and get that space. But I think we're going to see that continued demand into 23 and beyond as well, and especially as we start bringing new product and exciting product into the province.
And in terms of first-time visitors to Alberta, what is or what are some of the most surprising, the things that most surprise them, that may be unexpected?
I think honestly, so one of the bits of feedback we get the most is the people of Alberta. We rank repeatedly as one of the most welcoming provinces in Canada. So it's the experiences that you have. It's not just doing the experience; it's the connection that you have with the people of Alberta. And then the Indigenous experiences that have come online recently as well are truly authentic, really immersive, and really, you know, people take away a real new learning and understanding of the Indigenous people and the experiences that they're able to provide. And I think the last thing is just the landscapes. You know, we share a lot of photos, we share a lot of videos, but until you're there and until you're standing where like this lady is standing in Waterton looking down the lake, it's really tough to imagine and put in perspective just how big and in your face the mountains can be. So I think those are definitely some of the most surprising factors when people come to Alberta.
Excellent. Yeah, as travel warriors, we try to convey that, and it's always very difficult.
It's tough. You gotta see it to believe it, right? I think that's the key.
Nothing like firsthand, correct?
That's it.
So these domes are proving to be very popular. We have another question. Are they going to be open all year round?
Yes. Absolutely. So the best aurora actually is the best chance for aurora in the dark skies is through the winter months. So these ones are going to be open year round. Yes. And there is a product. We're still a bit early to be talking about it, but in the next couple of years, we're going to be seeing a whole aurora village coming online in northern Alberta, up in the Fort McMurray area. And once that's available, we'll come back and share that information. But that's again just for really capturing. There's just more chance of seeing the aurora further north you go in Alberta. But for the ones at Métis Crossing, yeah, that will be open year round. And they're, yeah, we had a chance to go and take a look at them. They're nice and warm, they're super cozy, and a great winter experience as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to prove to be very popular. There are a lot of questions coming in regarding the domes. So anything else you wanted to add, just that you might have missed that you thought of for our attendees about Alberta?
No, I was going to just say, like, if there's ever any questions, please feel free to reach out directly. More than happy to help answer questions or point in the right direction, connect you with you know, local suppliers, receptives, whatever may be needed to help you to book or get some information about Alberta. Our content team's generating tons of stories and engaging content to really inspire guests to travel as well. So on our YouTube page, there's tons of those kind of stories about the people of Alberta and some of the people they'll meet on the experiences while they're here. So please, you know, be sure to check that out. And then, yeah, I'm here to help as well as my team. So if you ever need anything ever, please feel free to reach out directly, and more than happy to help out where we can.
Then thank you so much, Ryan. That was amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful destination. And hopefully the travel advisors, I'm sure they got a lot out of that presentation. And again, they will have access to it via the email that they will be receiving. They have access to the itineraries via the handout section on this webinar. So thank you again, Ryan. That was great. Very, very informative.
That's great. Well, thanks to everyone for joining, and have a great rest of the week. And please feel free to reach out if you need anything at all.
Yep. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of the afternoon. Bye.
Bye.